Hey, Scorpio, Intuitive Soul Coach here with your November 2024 monthly reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right. Happy birthday to those of you sun sign Scorpios out there. It is your birthday month and it looks like you'll have a lot to celebrate. Your key theme is the bliss card. This is like the sun in tarot. So I feel a lot of you're going through a transformative time, hence Scorpio energy. And look at who shows up right off the bat, death and rebirth. Right? And I feel like instead of the death piece that may have happened, right, you're going through the rebirthing of it, the phoenix rising from the ashes. You're no longer stuck or tethered to the old ways of doing things, the old habits or patterns. You have the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. So there may be some choices that you are making this month, Scorpio, but I feel like these choices are leading you directly into happiness. That's why the Chariot was showing up at the bottom of the deck. Look at Wheel of Fortune upright. This is a change for the better. Sun at the bottom of the deck. Oh, wow. This is definitely a great month for initiation. Hanged Man, bottom of the deck in reverse. You're coming out of a delayed period of your life. You're letting go of some old beliefs that kept you small. Oh my goodness. You have 5 out of 6 cards that are major arcana. That's not a coincidence. There is a big happy shift that you are moving forward into in the month of November. We'll take a look, of course, and see what these choices consist of. We'll look at health. We'll look at your wealth, your career, finances, relationships, partnerships. We'll look at it all here, Scorpio. So stay tuned. And of course, if you do like the messages here, please hit that thumbs up button. It certainly does help get the divine channeled messages out there to those that need it most. Now, I'm very proud of you. You are listening, you're trusting your intuition, and if something feels off to you or if something has finalized or completed its course, I don't see you continuing to hang on to it. And that may have been a hard lesson that some of you had to learn. Yeah, as I say hard lesson, you actually have the tear showing up here, the tear, but it's almost as if now these are happy tears. Now you are able to sit in the energy of growth and of rebirth in a way that doesn't feel as weighed down. It doesn't feel as heavy. So your first card out here is choices. There is a decision point. This is a crossroads for you, Scorpio. You may have some new options, some new opportunities showing up for you this month. This could also be some breakthroughs, some aha moments, or some spiritual downloads that come to you, and you are meant to listen. And I feel like, yes, there may be a lot of external noise. There's a lot going on in the planet, a lot in the cosmos, a lot economically, politically. But I feel like you are making choices that are going to bring you long-term fulfillment. This also has to do with your free will. This has to do with fate and free will, which is interesting because we have destiny and fate showing up centered in your reading. But it almost feels like some of you have been maybe resisting the free will piece, or the resisting this path for whatever reason. Okay, that's what I feel. And now there's a shift happening in November where you're like, wait a second, why have I been resisting? I am now going to make a choice to surrender. That may be what the choice is all about. And that choice with the Hanged Man, you surrendering and you allowing this path to open up in front of you and you walking towards it could be the best thing that you ever do for yourself. This is balance. You're still a little bit between worlds. because as we navigate through this death and rebirth, sometimes we feel like we don't have, this foot quite into, this energy over here. It's like we're kind of straddling that line. But I feel towards the end of the month, you'll have really ascended. You have the Hierophant, and you also have the Awakening. And look what it says on the Awakening card. It says Phoenix Rising. This is death and rebirth. This is truth, spiritual enlightenment, and reclaiming your power, which is beautiful because you also have the Emperor. And the Emperor is very powerful. You're taking action here. And this action is leading you towards fortune, towards abundance, towards happiness, towards all the good things, right? All the good things. Now, it doesn't mean that you're never going to have a bump in the road, but it means that you deserve this win. You deserve this accomplishment, this milestone, this job offer, this vacation, this love, whatever it is that you are wanting to manifest, something that's been on your mind. Maybe it's a feeling of freedom. Perhaps it's a feeling of heaven on earth, being able to have a network of family, friends, support. Perhaps it is saying yes, right? Maybe a wedding proposal, or it could be saying yes to a new lifestyle, a more liberating lifestyle. You're waking up to the truth of who you are meant to become in this lifetime. And not that you haven't been that, right? But sometimes we walk through life with spiritual amnesia, right? We walk through life and we're like, well, what is my purpose? What is the path forward? How can I see more clearly? And for you, Scorpio, that's part of your divine blueprint, is that mystical, deep, intense, transformative part of your psyche. So when it comes to health, there's a lot going on. We're going to talk a lot about health here because health could be looking up. It could take a turning point here. For those of you that have suffered from any of the health issues that we're about to talk about, please see the disclaimer in the description box below. Please seek professional guidance. First of all, the death card rules the body's elimination organs, such as kidneys, bladders, right? It can be the colon, it can be genitalia. So some of you may have had issues with those regions because when we resist, when we hang on to things, that can back up in our system. That can be constipation, right? But when we're not processing them in the ways that are healthy, it can run off, right? And it can be the opposite of constipation. So I feel like you are balancing potentially the gut region, the sacral chakra, and the root. Okay. Some of you may have gone through some endings. This can also talk of grief. It can talk about, I feel like you're coming to that point though, where it's not necessarily the grieving, the heaviness of the grieving. It's more of the acceptance. It's more of the freedom that you go through these steps when you go through a death process, right? And I feel like you're coming to that tail end, or you've already initiated into that butterfly stage, right? Where you're rising up from something that has been quite heavy for you. Now we have the Emperor here. Now the Emperor can be anger. It can be war injuries, sports injuries. It can also be problems with the head, problems with the face. This can be blood and muscles. This is a really good time, Scorpio, to start a new exercise regime that's going to get your blood pumping, get your muscles moving, and help you feel strong, help you feel courageous. I'm getting here as well. So maybe weight training, adding on a little more muscle mass could be significant here for you. And I'm also seeing that if you have some old sports wounds that are acting up, like a shoulder or a knee, I feel like some sort of physical therapy could be beneficial for you. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune energy is very powerful when it comes to health because it governs the liver, right? The liver, the toxic buildup. So we're getting a couple of eliminating organs, so your elimination system. So be mindful of the liver, because when the liver is clogged, it backs up and it can cause rashes, it can cause acne, it can cause skin eruptions basically, and it can bring about low vitality, low energy, low momentum, and also eyes, paying attention to the sight. And this can be allergies as well, or just sensitivities within the skin. So be mindful of liver. Some of you could be going on a liver cleanse or a detox. Next, we have the Hierophant. A lot of signs have been getting this Hierophant in a lot of the readings, which to me, this is about our higher power. And it's about taking a look at everything that has taught us in our lives, right? From education, the school systems, to religion, to the concept of, societal beliefs or standards, to higher organizations, right? And taking a look at that teaching, those different teachings, and weighing them up against your own intuition, your own filter, basically, and saying, wait a second, do these things ring true to me? Have they been helpful? Are they hindering my growth? And when we have the Hierophant showing up, I feel like you are paying attention to your own body instead of just letting other people tell you what's wrong, which be mindful. Yes, there's medical professionals and coaches and healers and nutritionists and doctors that can certainly do that. But I feel like you're doing your homework here. You're trusting your body. You're saying, wait a second, do I have maybe a nutritional deficiency? Some of you have a food allergy that could be reacting in the skin. This is also about emotional support. And I see here with this Hierophant, get a second opinion or follow up, do your research. Some of you have suffered from autoimmune, but I see a turnaround here because this card denotes a strong immune system that can resist illnesses. And that's very important to remember, because a lot of times we are told that the body attacks itself. I don't believe that. With autoimmune, I believe that the body wants to heal, and what it does is it attacks invaders, pathogens. And so some of you are doing your research and you're connecting and you're healing the root of the issue here with the Hierophant. You're healing on a spiritual level, not just putting a band-aid on something here. Whew. All right, and lastly here, with the High Priestess energy showing up, this could be hormonal. This can rule the uterus, the ovaries, right? High Priestess is Cancer energy, and this can be feminine. So it can also be the breast. It can be the womb, endometriosis, hysterectomy, menopause, perimenopause, things of that nature, the mother within us. And it could also be you mothering or parenting yourself, regardless of what age. Now, the High Priestess is also rules the stomach area. So taking in vital nutrients, food, soul food is what I'm getting here. So feed the body the nutritional supplements or foods that it needs to be healthy. And I see some of you are going to make choices regarding your health this month that add on years of your life. Okay, I'm just going to say it like that. You're making choices that are going to add years to your life or keep you living longer. That's important here because you have work to do, right? You have work to do. And I feel like the healthier you are, the better off, of course, because you're going to want to be here. You're going to want to feel vitality and feel energized. And I just feel you're making some changes when it comes to your health that leave you feeling more empowered, more in control, which is beautiful. All right. Now you do have the Awakening card. So you're waking up to some sort of truth within yourself. And I feel like there is a big turning point when it comes to all areas of your life, your relationships, the way that you view money. This could also even be where you live. You're changing your mind here, or you're surrendering to doing things in a new way, or allowing the universe to be your biggest manifesting partner, right? Allowing yourself to trust your own intuition and say, okay, show me, universe, this or something better. And I feel like you're highly, highly intuitive, Scorpio. You are a very intuitive sign. And there is a lot of spiritual enlightenment. Some of you, your gifts are really being activated at this time. Some of you, your healing abilities. For others of you, being able to see through the BS, see through the fluff. For some of you, this could be your gift to connect to loved ones, ancestors, spirit guides. We all have the abilities. We all have spiritual gifts, but you may be honing in on a couple of them and really see this activated in a sense where you're not doubting it maybe as much as you were, or you're really stepping into this new part of you and you're not allowing other people to hold you back. And what I mean by that is fear of what others think, fear of criticism, fear of judgment. Instead, you're saying, wait a second, this is a gift that's going to help me in life. Why would I let other people take that away from me? And that's something you could be letting go of. There's a message coming in for you. There's a message, possibly a new offer from a boss. If you have come to this reading and you've been wanting to look for a new opportunity, right? Maybe you have been with the death. Perhaps something ended. This could be a relationship ended a while ago, or a job, or you've come to the point of your journey that you can no longer go on in the ways in which you have. There's a message or incoming news, or maybe even an announcement that you're putting out there, Scorpio, that really helps you embrace your destiny, embrace this wheel of fortune. So there's definitely some sort of communication coming in, and it's coming in hot. You have the law of attraction here right behind it, and you also have the shadow, and that's also my Scorpio energy. A lot of signs have been getting that. So I see that you're putting something, I don't want to say to the side, but it's almost as if you've dealt with your fears and you're not letting your fears dictate your path. You're saying, I'm setting those fears aside. I understand where they came from, why they're there, but I have this sense of awareness. I'm raising my vibrations where I'm still looking down and I can see those fears, but I'm not going to let them hold me back from taking the next step. And that's why you have the Hierophant, because once he's aware, he's able to ascend. He's able to step up that ladder, right? The spiritual ladder per se. So starting off, you do have the Death card, transition, change, liberation. There may have been situations that were out of your control, right? Out of your control, or, it just felt like sudden change had shifted everything here for you, but it's offering you a new beginning, right? Endings bringing in new beginnings. And you may have been stuck between worlds, been stuck between that transformative time of the ending and a new beginning. And you're like, well, what are the other? I can't be stuck in this in-between stage anymore. I either need to go back to this past or embrace a new beginning, but it almost feels like you were waiting and you started to get impatient. But I feel like this is the month where shift is happening, right? Shift happening. And I do see with this Emperor that there is either a ruler or a father or someone of higher authority that is coming in, bringing in more structure, more order, and more stability. Okay. There's also a little more discipline here on your routine or within your path. Yeah, I'm getting a very disciplined energy. And that's also part of your free will choice. You can choose to be disciplined or not. You can choose to stay consistent in something. And the Emperor is the embodiment of discipline, right? If he has a goal, if he wants to get in shape, he's going to make sure he hits that gym, regardless of how tired he is, regardless of, any excuses. His goal is more powerful than the excuse. And I feel like that's what you're telling yourself here. And by staying consistent to this dream of you having a happier outcome or a more fulfilling life or more vitality or more money, whatever it is that you're wanting more of, And again, it doesn't have to be a thing, but it could be, having more emotional fulfillment, right? Just opening yourself up after feeling a little bit lost or a little bit stuck with that Hanged Man energy. The Wheel of Fortune rolls in here and says, there's a turning point. This is Sag energy. Sag shows up at the end of November. This is a turning point for you to have this new cycle roll in. This is a new trip around the sun. Quite literally, you have the sun here with the Bliss card, and this is another trip. And the Wheel of Fortune is a renewal of life. You may have gone through a karmic period, and you may have been fearing the change, because we do. That's human nature for each and every one of us to fear the unknown. But it's when we allow that fear to stop us from stepping into the unknown or embracing it fully, that's when we become locked up in this Hanged Man energy. And I see here with the Hierophant, you're really re-examining where you invest your commitments in relationships, in friendships, in your career, what kinds of foods you eat, what you watch on TV, right? The types of music, the type of hobbies that you partake in. This all has to do with you connecting to your higher self and being a good mentor for you. Now, I'm also getting some of you could be getting solid, sound advice from a spiritual teacher. Could be a psychic, could be a soul coach, could be a mentor. It could be a therapist or someone who is highly intuitive as well. If this is not you, which I feel like it is, I feel like a lot of you are getting messages from your higher self, but there could also be someone on your journey who is very insightful. And that could be the catalyst that gets you up out of a slumber. And we have the only minor arcana out of the 6 here is the Page of Pentacles. There is the message. So there's confirmation coming in where you're going to receive some really great news. This is something that's going to bring about happiness. You could be delivering the news. Maybe you are surprising someone and saying, I want to go on this vacation. I just bought some tickets. Or, there could be an incoming message from a boss saying, Scorpio, you've been doing really good work. We want to offer you this new position, right? Or this could even be a new love interest, a new spiritual high-level commitment where someone messages you out of the blue even, and you may have a choice. Am I open to love? Do I want to move in this direction? Because the Page of Pentacles is something you can trust. I feel like you can trust this message. You can trust yourself to make the choices that are in your highest good. Scorpio, when this page shows up, he invests in himself. So you could be learning a new skill. You could be training. You could be making a choice to move forward on your journey in a highly spiritual way. And I feel like this is the way for you. This is the way. So trust this path with the page. Yes, you're going to be practical, but I see you reflecting on these commitments and you're considering additional, either education or you are considering a new path. And I feel like that has to do with the choice because again, you've reached the end of your road and there is a new beginning. There's a rebirth coming up from this. So this is really, really big. I'm loving this for you, but let's dive into your career, your finances, your money, your wealth, your abundance. You have a lot of cards that came up in this area. First card that stands out is health, because out of all the signs so far, you had a lot of major arcanas, and I'm looking into health with the major arcanas. And so health could be part of your career. It could be wellness or nutrition or healing. That could be part of what you do, Scorpio, but it could also be mental health, right? Some of you, physical health. Some situations that need resolution will be resolved and healed. Consider careers in the medical field, massage therapy, or any healing work. And it's time to replenish your energy and fully energize to prepare for what's next. So that may be why there's such a huge emphasis here. It's getting yourself straight, getting yourself feeling all that you can be, because you're going to need that momentum entering into the next portion of your life. So health standing out here. We have a laborer. Some of you are just tired. You've been putting in a lot of hard work. I mean, the Emperor, he is a big boss. If you are a business owner, or if you are building an empire in some way, you may wear many different hats. You may wear many different roles. But I also see that your hard work is being rewarded. And it says that right here. Your hard work is being rewarded. And we see that showing up with the Hierophant. I mean, you have really powerful major arcanas. I mean, they're all powerful. But even at the bottom of the deck, you have the Hanged Man. So that's actually 6 out of 7 here. Construction, maintenance, painting, or any kind of labor work could be part of your industry. I'm also getting, for some of you financially, you could be hiring a laborer or someone who's going to help you fix up your property, fix a vehicle, maybe paint a home, construction. And I see that you're not afraid of hard work, right? Don't be afraid of hard work. What lasts won't come easy. But I feel like you've spent a big majority of your life in this hard work. And I just feel like there's more freedom. There's more freedom, more joy, and more fulfillment in your financial sector. Okay, I see that showing up here. Look at this. You have a windfall coming in here. For some of you, this could be a payout, a payback. You're about to receive a windfall of money or a pay raise. This could even be an inheritance, maybe from a family member. Could be a father, if a father is crossed over, or if there was maybe a medical, I'm just going to say this, like medical malpractice, or if there was a settlement of some sort. Maybe some of you, this has to do with a divorce, has to do with a commitment. This could be back pay here. Money is currently in a positive cycle. Well, I would say so. Definitely with that Wheel of Fortune. This is a great time to treat yourself or make a purchase. Invest in yourself here with that Page of Pentacles, self-investment. So if you are considering, booking a trip, taking a class, spiritual retreat, or learning or doing something for you, I feel if you're able to do so, do it. Right? It's going to be beneficial for you. And I'm also getting spending a little bit more on the healthier foods will save you money in the long run. The healthier things now will save you money down the road. Next, you have the pendulum. This is that in between. This is that back and forth. Some of you, there has been indecision. Income has fluctuated, but there's a new strategy coming in. And what better of a strategic guide is the Emperor, because he's actually holding the chess piece and he's making a choice. He's making a move, but he doesn't go into it impulsively. He looks at all of his options and he uses his logic to really strategize. And I see you doing the same here. There could have been a job change. Some of you are deciding to get out of an industry and you're doing a complete 180. Like you may be getting out of nursing, but you're coming over here and you're a writer, right? Or, whatever it may be. I feel like maybe you worked in the restaurant industry, but over here, maybe that was greasy foods or bad, unhealthy foods. But over here, you're teaching about, Melaleuca and, the positive effects of plant medicine or something of that nature. So you could be utilizing what you've learned, but actually flipping it to bring about the healthy concept around it. I hope that makes sense. All right. You have spirituality. Spirituality here. Use money magic to increase wealth. A lot of you, this has to do with your words, magic spells, right? That's why it's called spelling, because words hold power. And I also see here a lot of you, and I mentioned this with the High Priestess, you could be a tarot reader, a healer, a spiritual advisor, or anything in the occult. Or you could be researching, right? Taking a class on tarot, taking a class on intuition, human design, zodiacal release, astrology. This could be Reiki. It could be Kundalini energy, yoga, chakras, crystals, healing with, plant medicine, whatever it may be for you. If you are curious about it, Scorpio, chase your curiosities, because it actually could bring about a turning point in your life that you don't even see, but it changes everything. If you're being guided, you are being guided to discover your unique spiritual path right now. Absolutely. That's what we've been saying. You are guided to go towards the light, and look at how beautiful this synchronicity is. On the choice card, you see that there's two paths, right, in this wheat field. And one path is lit up. It has a big, bright, shining, illuminating sun. You can't quite see the sun, but you can see the energy of it. And on the other side, it's more of the moon, right? And nothing wrong with the moon, right? Nothing wrong with that shadow aspect, but we don't always want to sit in that, right? We can grow, we can learn a lot, we can really dive in. But I see here the bliss, which is the sun, right next to it. So you're going to make a choice that brings about a sense of, this is it. This is the path that I'm meant to be on. This is where I need to go. Now, you also have the book card. Oh, look, you have Buddha as well. Look at all this spiritual energy here. High Priestess, Phoenix Rising. You have the Buddha card. This is life purpose. Scorpio, this is more than just money for you. It's spiritual wealth. Some of you are counselors, or you are being counseled or guided. Again, another card that says divine path. You're getting it from all different decks here. So there's a divine path that you are taking, and you're surrendering to maybe what you thought it should look like. And you're opening up and giving the universe some breathing room to work its magic here. And I see here that the book card can be paperwork coming in, contracts, learning as you go. Sometimes we don't take the first step because we don't have all of those pieces figured out. And that can cause us to be stuck or set back. But Spirit is saying here, you can learn as you go. You don't have to have every single piece in place before you make that next step, right? Remember, Lao Tzu says the journey of 1,000 miles, what? Begins with a single step. And that's what you are being guided to do right now. Some of you could be writers. You could be taking a class, education, law. And I feel like setbacks are showing up. If they're showing up and you're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, then it's time to step off of that path and it's time to try something new. Wow, that's a lot going on in your career sector, but there is a common thread around listening to your intuition and committing to your personal power. And I do see here money flowing, right? Money flowing. So if that has been an issue for you, or if you feel like you can't make money doing what you love, get rid of that belief. Get rid of that limiting belief, because it may be holding you back. Trust your intuition to lead you. Trust your intuition to help you commit to a path that feels like it aligns with your soul's journey. And be open to learning. Be open to learning a new skill. Be open to applying for positions that maybe different roles than you're used to. Even if there's a tad bit of imposter syndrome here, I feel like you have what it takes to succeed. I mean, these major arcanas are huge. When the Emperor is showing up here, you may even have more skills than some of you could even be overqualified. It feels that way at times, right? But the Page of Pentacles is a message or an offer coming in, and you will advance quickly. Even if you're the boss, even if this is something that you're starting on your own, or if you're working for a company, a lot of you may be heading into retirement here. And I just feel like there's a lot more fulfillment on all levels, financial fulfillment, emotional, and also something that may have been a big headache. I feel like that is not as profound as what you were dealing with in the past. Mental stress, mental breakdowns, things of that nature. All right, let's look at love. You only have 3 that come out for love. And I see why, because some of you are like, Mel, I'm not going to focus on love right now. And it could be that someone was wearing a mask, Scorpio. This is hiding true feelings, hiding intentions. This could even be that you had to end a situation because someone may have gaslit you or they may have manipulated you. They're like, what? Wait a second. You didn't say that. You said this. And you're like, no, I didn't. I know what I said. That is the definition of gaslighting, right? And I feel like you're not going to be made crazy. You're not crazy here, Scorpio. And I feel like someone was personifying, someone was deluding you or tampering with your energy. Oh, that's a new one. Tampering with your energy. And you may have even mirrored each other at times. This could be a romantic partner. It could be a family member. It could be a child. It could be a coworker. It can be anyone. Yes, we're looking into, romantic relationships as well. But I feel like you had the time and space that you needed to reflect, right? That's why you are showing up as this awakened energy, because you don't get there by not going through the healing process, the grieving process, and really choosing to take the lessons that you've learned and to put them into practice. That's called wisdom, right? When we can learn from the lessons, that's how we know we've learned, is because we take what we've learned and we do something different this time around. So we don't have to come in and keep repeating it. So I feel like there's been a lot of introspection around some inner wounds. You may have been with a person who cut you down. This could even be a family member who kept cutting you down a notch, and before you knew it, you started to believe it, right? And that can really get messed up in our mind, right? You may have been dealing with a narcissist or someone who, again, they were very controlling. They were very, very much manipulative with the mind. They may have even used religious tactics or spiritual tactics to manipulate you or persuade you in some way. And you're like, wait a second, this does not feel good. This does not make sense. This is not really what's happening. You may have had to step back from that and heal some wounds. And I feel like you may have cut someone out, or there may have been a separation with the death card, but it's to stop the pattern. It's to stop the pattern here. And you may have given someone the silent treatment with the high priestess. The high priestess is quiet. You may be doing some deep introspection at this time in order to fully come into alignment with this ascension, with a soulmate or a partner who you can build this spiritual bond with and continue to climb, continue to grow without cutting each other down, without admonishing, without pointing fingers, without disrespect, without dysfunction, without toxic traits and patterns that keep replaying out, that keep you at this bottom step, right? It keeps you from ascending as, a partnership, as a couple, and even as an individual. And I feel like there's a new opportunity coming in, and there's some sort of truth coming in around this subject that is really allowing you to see something that perhaps you haven't seen before. Whew. Powerful reading here, Scorpio. And now, last but not least, we do have the tear. And I'm just going to tell you, for those of you who have gone through a death, right? I mean, at some point, typically we all go through some sort of physical death, right? You may want to check out Leo's reading. That was one of the first readings that I've done that was really intense. I actually had to put a trigger warning on it because it's pretty deep, but it does talk about loved ones that have crossed over, and of all ages as well, and pets as well. So if that is something you have struggled with, you may want to check that reading out, even if you're not a Leo, okay? Because I believe we embody all different astro signs within our chart. So if that's calling to you, head on over and check out that reading. Now we have the tear. The tear has to do with the mourning, the release, the rain. Tears are droplets of letting go. Once they begin to fall, we allow the swelling tide of emotion to run its elemental course. Often, the tear is what is needed in order for a conversation or situation to break into the next level of intimacy and vulnerability. Some say that tears are so powerful in softening our egos that they open up a portal to the unseen world. Through our watery eyes, the ancestors catch a glimpse of us, and we are reminded of their eternal embrace. We sense our humanity, our humility, and we allow ourselves to be held. It is likely this card appears when there is grieving yet to do, a sinking down, right, into that disappointment, that despair. Once acknowledged, and we said this in the very beginning of your reading, right? And I don't even know what this card is about, but we talked about the different levels of grief. And it says, once acknowledged, once accepted, it will bring a shimmer of clarity to our dewy eyes. So for some of you, if this is the light aspect, which we see the bliss showing up, the light element is melody, it's melancholy, and it's flow, right? Embracing change, embracing a new cycle of life. And when it's in the reverse, when it's in the shadow, which we did see the shadow, right? We've seen it. So I know that you've been on this end as well. The shadow is drowning. The shadow could be drowning within our emotions, drowning financially, drowning with health, right? Drowning even spiritually at times, where it feels like we just want someone to throw us that life preserver, right? Throw us that life preserver because we're drowning here. This can be drama and it can be murkiness. The tear is powerful and it is possible to be subsumed in its waters. Find a supportive place to open the floodgates. If both the tear and the river appear in a reading, and I have to say, you had a lot of cards that wanted to come out. So we don't have the river, but we do have the underworld. I just wanted to pull another one just to confirm. But when those two appear, this could indicate an excess of the water element, and you are water. So just be mindful of, balancing with fire and air. Some of you may be looking into Ayurvedic medicine or traditions as well, because an excess of that water could be part of what holds you back at times. So finding ways to balance that out, okay? And I see here with the death energy, we have, again, elimination, hanging on, resistance to change. It could be hanging on to grief. It can be hanging on to things that, we are ready to let go of. We are ready to accept. We are ready to acknowledge. And I feel like once that process has completed, that's going to bring that shimmer of clarity, that shimmer of more joy and, more freedom, more liberation coming in. So for those of you that are still going through this cyclical process of death and rebirth, trust that you're on your way up and out of this. Okay. I definitely feel that. If you want to go a little bit further, Scorpio, visit Vakel Lindsay's The Rain or Rain. I don't know if that's a poem or maybe it's a song. But I see the tears may have clouded, right? May have clouded judgment with the death card. But with the other major arcanas, this is a spiritual shift for you. And you're coming out on the other side with this newfound sense of clarity. But there still may be some choices that you need to make. Okay? Surrender. Drop into that energy. And there is spiritual enlightenment here as well. Scorpio, that is what I have for you. I hope it resonates. Trust that you're moving forward. Didn't we see that chariot showing up at the beginning? I feel like there is a forward momentum here. We also see, again, the wheel of fortune. This is momentum. Yes, you've gone through some karmic cycles, but it's time to reap some of that good karma. The good stuff that you've put out there, you're going to receive back tenfold. So trust that the universe has your back. Scorpio, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like the message today, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. And thank you again for tuning in. Happy birthday to you.